Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Rustabout Collector here, and today we're taking a look at 3 really cool things. The first of which is this little Clone Trooper candy dispenser that I found at the thrift store today while I was on my way to the P.O. box, and that's the second cool thing. I'm going to be showcasing a P.O. box package that came in the mail from one of you wonderful, awesome fans. And then the third thing is just showcasing a quick little trade haul that I got in from someone over on Instagram. That'll be the last thing in this video, so stick around for that. First and foremost though, I just want to talk about this really quickly. Again, I found this at the thrift store for $1, and I had to pick it up because I had one of these as a kid. It was a normal white Phase 1 Clone Trooper candy dispenser, and I never realized that they did a repaint where they had him with red markings. So it's just kind of a unique little Star Wars toy type thing that came out that I never knew there was a variant of, so I picked it up. I don't know if I'll keep this or if I'll pass this on to another collector who also loves clone variants. I'm not totally sure. I just thought, you know what, for $1, I had to have it because I never knew that this even existed. And next up we have this awesome looking package from the P.O. box. I was not expecting anything. No one had sent me a message saying they sent anything, but I checked it on a whim and I thought maybe this was like something that I bought and had forgotten about. So I did start to open it, but then I saw the note, and I didn't read the note or anything yet, but I did realize that, hey, you know, if I'd bought something, they probably wouldn't include a note, and then I figured this needs to be opened up on camera. So I haven't looked at any of the contents here. I just saw the note and then stopped, froze, went, okay, we gotta get this on camera. So let's start out with the note. It says, "Hey RBC, here are some various parts and a few figures you can use for potential customs." Ooh, that's exciting. "I plan to make a custom Phase 1 commander, but aside from using a Dremel to hollow out the helmet and attach a rangefinder, I never got around to finishing it. Maybe it can be the base figure for a custom Commander Keeley." That is a wonderful idea. I wonder if that's a Phase 1 realistic or a Phase 1 Clone Wars. We shall see. Also included are, okay, he's listing some of the stuff that's included. I'm going to pause this note here. We'll take a look at what's in the package and then we'll revisit the note because I don't want too many spoilers here. Now I did check the note and there isn't a name or a username or anything, and the return address just says Torres, which is, I believe, the last name. So if I've talked with you over on Instagram or if you have a YouTube channel or something, please leave it down in the comments. I want to give you full credit for this package because I really appreciate you sending this over. And yeah, I didn't see anything with like a username for Instagram or something. So if we've talked over there or if we've talked here on YouTube, I do apologize if I just didn't recognize the name. So please leave it down in the comments though. I really want to give you credit for this. So reaching in, we have a bag with some figures, and ooh, already there's some interesting ones here and some interesting parts and pieces. So it looks like we have just a complete Luminara Unduli. I can't remember when this one was released. I think this is what they made the Clone Wars figure off of, but this is like the Revenge of the Sith version, so that's pretty cool. There's some soft goods. There's definitely good custom fodder here for maybe like a Cantina Dweller or maybe a custom Jedi. I don't know. Next we have everything but the face, it looks like, of a Naboo Royal Guard, which is really awesome. I've never had this figure, and definitely some good custom fodder there. I like the design of these guys' uniforms, so honestly, I could just swap any random head on there, and then I'd have a Theed Palace Guard. And it looks like we also have his blaster, which is awesome. I think this is a vintage collection figure. I could be wrong, though. I'm not totally sure when they released it, but either way, really cool for custom bases. In fact, there's actually a clone trooper. This is not canon anymore, but in one of the comics, there's an ARC trooper that has a love for Naboo armor, like Naboo, I guess the people, the planet, and the armor of the Royal Guard. So he puts his clone armor mixed with Naboo Theed Palace Guard armor, and it's a really cool design. I can't remember his name, but it's on Wikipedia, so if you ever want to look that up, it's one of the ARC troopers, and he just has this armor incorporated with his clone trooper armor, and it looks awesome. We have a Revenge of the Sith electronic R2-D2 that does not work, but I always liked this one growing up, so that's cool. And then we have a Power of the Force Boba Fett with a Clone Wars ARC Trooper Kama here. It does have a little bit of damage there, but ultimately this could be a really good piece of custom fodder for clones. I really like this longer Kama design that came with those early 2000s clone troopers, so that's cool. And I do love the Power of the Force figures for how kind of ridiculous they are, so I will be very pleased to add this to the collection because I don't think I had a Power of the Force Boba Fett, so this is awesome. Next oh my gosh, okay. Next up we have a freaking well, you know, it's missing an arm, but this is the majority of a Jedi Starkiller figure, one of the like coolest figures to come out of the Force Unleashed line. So regrettably, he's only got one arm, unless maybe it's in here somewhere, but either way, really cool custom fodder for maybe a Jedi, or maybe if I find like a beater version of this figure, I could just swap the arms out. But yeah, this is really cool. Sometime down the line, I would love to have every single Force Unleashed figure that they released, or at least like the main variants of Starkiller that they released, and this is one of them. So this kind of puts me on track a little bit, and now I really want to know if I take the head sculpt from the Vintage Collection release, the newest one. Okay, that's going to be too small, so that won't work, but I was hoping maybe I could take the Force Unleashed 2 Starkiller head sculpt and pop it onto this, but doesn't look like you can. We've got a kind of beat up battle damage Darth Vader. This could almost work as the Force Unleashed battle damage Darth Vader, given he's missing his arm and his helmet is completely gone. We've got a Padawan body. I think that this is from George Lucas's son, who plays in the Order 66 scene in Revenge of the Sith, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's a really solid Jedi body if you want to make like a Padawan, or maybe if you want to make like a shorter alien. So that is going to be very useful for me. Some more odds and ends, a lightsaber, some arms, the hair from Quinlan Vos, I think, maybe. And there's the helmet for Darth Vader, so he's just missing an arm, no big deal, you know, it's just a flesh wound. We've got a little Jawa here, that's basically just a straight up Jawa figure, like that's perfect, there's nothing missing off of him, I don't think, so that's really cool. We've got two Anakins, which is really awesome. This one I think is from the Order 66 2-pack with the ARC Trooper. The soft goods are a little bit damaged, like the vinyl's peeling off of it, just because, you know, that's what happens with that type of soft goods, but underneath is still a perfectly serviceable Jedi sculpted plastic body, so that's really cool. And then I don't recognize this Anakin, but it might be the Vintage Collection version. Ooh, oh wow. So he actually has really good outwards at the hip, so this definitely might be the older Vintage Collection version, one that I have never handled in person. Someone can correct me down in the comments if this is the Vintage Collection or if this is, you know, some other line, but still a really cool version of Anakin, like very posable, which I love to see with Jedi figures. A lot of them just use swivel hips, so having those outwards where he can do like a high kick is really awesome. And it's got a decent head sculpt. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst that we've ever seen. There are also some Build-A-Droid parts, which I love. This was one of the coolest things that Hasbro ever did back in the day, and I love having extra parts to make my own little custom droids and stuff. That's really awesome. And then finally from that bag we have the parts to a Hoth Trooper, a Hoth Rebel. That's really good custom fodder. He even has his blaster, so yeah, this is, I mean, already there are some really cool customs that I can see coming together, especially with the Jedi bodies, because I've been planning to do custom Clone Legions, and when I do that, I like to be able to make custom Jedi to go along with them. And we're still not even done, so holy crap, dude. Thank you so much for sending this all over. I really appreciate it. We've got some more parts and pieces from Jedi, like some Yoda lightsabers here. We've got the holster rig from a Jango Fett, I think, which is really awesome. That's going to be very useful. The body to Quinlan Vos, which is such an awesome looking figure. I love his character design. We have a Mace Windu with a really awesome plate feature. I love how in the early 2000s Hasbro went all out with like the spring-loaded figures and the quick draw figures and like the slashing action figures. It's just so much fun. It's so gimmicky, but I absolutely love it because it made for very cool toys. And we also have the arms for Aayla Secura, which is always nice, and one of those swappable hands from the Revenge of the Sith line, along with another Build-A-Droid part, this time for one of like the Death Star droids, I think. I don't know. I could never keep up with how many different droids they made for the old Legacy Collection Build-A-Droid, and I never completed them. I always had like, you know, half of a droid here, half of a droid there, and I never was able to actually have like the full droid because I never bought full waves back in the day. So the last bag in the package is just chock full of clone parts. We'll open that in just a second, but there was this loose Kit Fisto figure in the bag as well. Looks like his leg had to be amputated for something, so honestly I could just glue that back on, and if I get the alignment right, it's a pretty clean cut, so like you wouldn't even really notice that it was ever cut, which is very cool. This is one I'm assuming from Attack of the Clones, but honestly, I don't recognize it. I've never seen a Kit Fisto figure that has like the Force push hand like this, which is a really cool, you know, posed but also still articulated kind of feature for a figure. So yeah, I don't recognize this one, and it's really awesome looking. The sculpt work is great, the facial expression is great. Yeah, I dig that. So I'll definitely be gluing that leg back on, and he'll be pretty much good as new. Alright, so let's dig into this awesome looking bag of clone troopers. I already see so many useful features here that I'm going to be able to use for a lot of different things, but let's just dig right into it. Right at the top here, I see some Build-A-Droid parts, which again, I absolutely love. We have another Death Star droid torso with a leg, and then a silver leg from another Build-A-Droid, and a gold leg from another Build-A-Droid. I don't know their designations or anything, but these are awesome. I love getting little bits and pieces of droids. They make really cool like set dressing. If you ever make a diorama or something, you just lay some droids around and like have some Jawas working on them, and boom, there you go. So we have some torsos from the Legacy Collection landing platform clone. Looks like there are 3 of them. These are really clean torsos, so I don't know, I could definitely use these for customs or something, because, I mean, come on, it's a landing platform clone trooper torso, and it's the antenna mold, so if I can find some arms, I should be able to make some pretty decent clone bodies. And the legs are even popped out cleanly as well. I know sometimes those joints can snap off. So yeah, with some arms replaced here, these will be really clean clones. We've got some dead shock trooper quick draw clones. I guess these could always be useful in like a medical bay as dead clones that kind of got blown up. But this shoulder pad is actually really useful because I will often find the quick draw clones without the shoulder pad, so I can always have that as an extra piece to complete a figure if I find one. This is really cool. So the body here is a Target exclusive 91st Reconnaissance clone. It looks like you may have cannibalized the feet for another custom, but the head you used here is really sweet. It's like you combined Jesse and Comet from Wolfpack in the 501st and made a unique trooper, or maybe you started like 2 different customs here. Either way, that's a really sweet looking design, and yeah, that's really clean work as well. Like that printing and everything is really crisp. I'm not sure exactly how I'll use that, but I want to use that on something because that's a sweet looking design. There are a lot more parts and pieces to clone troopers. These are going to be very useful for customs of all sorts, so I don't want to touch on all of them, but you know, I'll just cover them loosely. Like here is a clone pilot, I believe, or maybe just a clone trooper from the early 2000s. I really do love this body mold, even though it's kind of pre-posed. The sculpt work is really awesome, so maybe I can work out a custom with that. I'm not sure, but this is all fantastic, and dude, I cannot thank you enough for sending all of this over because this is going to be so useful. It looks like you also sent over a bunch of shoulder pads to... Oh, nice. So these are like the shoulder bells to the ATTE Trooper, it looks like, the 501st specifically, which is really awesome. I don't see any pegs on them, but hey, I mean, that's super useful for customs. I mean, I could make Clone Wars Jedi with those. I could replace the shoulder bell on any that are missing and just glue them on. That is super useful, so thank you so much for that. And then it looks like here these are the opposite shoulders, but they're just carved off with an X-Acto knife because those are actually sculpted on. I think with a Dremel, I could still make those just as useful, so thank you again. These are also going to be really useful. A Clone Wars head, a Saga Collection Commander Cody, and then I think this is a Vintage Collection Commander Cody head sculpt. I could be wrong about that, but either way, those are really useful for custom, so thank you. Then there are some removable Clone Trooper helmets, which are always useful, especially this landing platform Commander helmet. Really appreciate that one, because I think I have a Commander, and his helmet is really either dirty or yellowed, so this will be a great replacement for that. And, you know, extra helmets are always appreciated. And then finally, we have kind of a kit-bashed Phase 2 Captain Rex here with the Black Series helmet and a 2008 Clone Wars body. That's definitely got some potential for a custom. And then this must be the Phase 1 Clone Trooper you were referring to in the note, which looks so cool. Yeah, you did a really great job with this. It's got the Tartakovsky pauldron here, it's got the ARC Trooper Kama, and then I don't recognize this helmet. You've got the rangefinder on it. Did you Dremel out like the ARC Trooper helmet? Because it's got flex to it. I don't know. This helmet looks like it's factory painted, and it's definitely the ARC Trooper helmet, but I don't know. I'll have to reread that note because that is really cleanly Dremeled out if that's what you did, and it fits on this head sculpt really nicely. So I don't know, that I might make this into like a Commander Keeley or something, but honestly, I might just paint this trim blue and then he'll be like a fully articulated 2002 ARC Trooper. Or better yet, I could give him this Kama and then he would be exactly like the 2002 ARC Troopers. Man, I don't know. This is really cool, though. I always loved that light shade of blue that they used for these original ARC Troopers, and that looks so good on a super articulated body. Holy crap. I don't even know where to begin with this haul, but thank you so much, dude, for all the pieces and parts and even complete figures that I think, man, this is just going to be awesome for custom projects in the future. Now let's go back and read the note. It says, you also included 3 intact torsos you can use to swap out with any yellowed 41st landing platform clones you've acquired, which yes, these are very clean and like pristine white. So if I do have any yellowed ones, I will probably try and swap those over, so I appreciate that. Another point of interest are 2 heads I've included, Rex and Jesse/Boost. Okay, so there was the Jesse/Boost. He's kind of a combination of those two, which have been modified with a Dremel to fit onto the ATTE Gunner Tactical Ops 30th 501st Clone Trooper body. Oh, that's awesome. With modified arms, I think the 30th 501st first release clones make the best base for custom figures because they won't yellow and are great hip articulation, and have great hip articulation. I agree, I really like the ATTE Trooper body mold. However, I will say the new Clone Trooper mold that just came out in Vintage Collection kind of has it beat with those ball hinge joints. Thanks to your video on the Wolfpack set, I finally am able to identify the blaster I received in a lot I purchased as the greatly improved animated DC-15A. Oh, okay, so I saw that, I just kind of put it with all the other parts, but yeah, that is the Clone Wars like animated Phase 2 Clone Trooper DC-15A that they made, which is much, much more highly detailed than the previous version. Since I don't collect animated figures, it will be better in your collection. I really appreciate that. That will be very useful. I am looking for some parts for my customs. If you can spare any of them, I greatly appreciate it. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. That's always a tricky situation because I know if I, say yes to one person, I send them something, then everyone will ask, and then I'll have to send things to other people. So I'm a little bit leery about anything like that, but I will take a look here at what you got for the list here. You are looking for a Sharpshooter Keller helmet, a 187th Airborne Commander right hand and satchel, red-green Clone Commander helmet, binoculars ×4, 41st landing platform lower legs and upper arms. One of mine was damaged or has damaged gray paint. Yellowed torso, Saga Collection Cody. I just need an unbroken torso. I gotta be honest, I actually don't have any of those things. Unfortunately, I can't say that I have any of those, and if I was fortunate enough to finally have a Sharpshooter helmet, I would use that to complete the one Sharpshooter that I have that is incomplete, because you always find the Sharpshooter and sometimes Keller without a helmet. Those two seem to be the most commonly posted online for sale without those accessories, for whatever reason. That's just been my experience. And then looking forward to your custom Thorn video. Also, the helmet from the ATTE figure or Gree figure are superior sculpts that can work for the upcoming Phase 2 figures. Yes, I covered that in my review of those figures, although I didn't try the Gree helmet, and I honestly forgot to try an Airborne helmet on that figure, but yeah, I really appreciate all this. You did not sign your name. Like I said earlier, I don't know if we've talked over on Instagram or here on YouTube. I usually know people by usernames rather than like legal names. So if we have and I'm just forgetting, I am really sorry. I'm just drawing a blank. So say hi down in the comments and I'll pin that comment so that people know who sent this over. But once again, thank you so much for this, dude. I really appreciate all these pieces and parts and figures, and yeah, this is going to be great for customizing. And then really quick, I wanted to show this haul that I got in from Crow Photography over on Instagram. I'll link his Instagram page down in the comments below. But he and I did a trade, and so I sent him a bunch of skinny mold clones and some other figures and accessories for him to make customs with, and he sent me all of this in return. We worked out a deal over on Instagram, so really quick, I want to showcase it because there's some really fantastic figures in here. First off, there was just some custom fodder like these old landing platform bodies and this Scout Trooper body, just stuff that I can have around in case I need some extra parts. And honestly, that Bakara helmet is still pretty useful because it's very clean and very nicely painted. Then we have 4 of one of my main army builder clones, the yellow Bark Trooper. I absolutely love this figure, along with the Order 66 Kashyyyk Trooper. So yeah, this is one of my 2 main army builds that I have, and to get 4 at once is really exciting. Then there is this custom 442nd Heavy Trooper. I think he included this kind of as like a little extra bonus, But either way, it's really awesome looking. I love the use of the Bakara helmet. And something I noticed after I got it in hand is that it's actually an ATTE driver clone, or maybe the 501st, but it's that body mold kit bashed with an antenna mold clone trooper body, which I think is just so creative. I love it when customizers like swap body parts between different molds and stuff to make a more articulated clone. But this one is really awesome, and he's definitely going in with my 442nd Army. Although my army is kind of just like 2 of them right now. The 442nd honestly might become sort of a new army builder focus, since I've acquired quite a few of my other main ones, where now I can maybe branch out to some of the other more obscure legions and fill out those ranks, but who knows. Then there is this custom ARC Trooper, which I just absolutely love. It uses a Clone Wars Draw body, I think. I can never remember which one is Draw and which one is Buzz, but I think this one is Draw. Then it has a custom molded Phase 2 helmet and pauldron and Kama. These might be from Just for Kicks Customs. I'm not totally sure, but either way, it just looks awesome. I love the color of green. I love the use of the Draw body, and yeah, this one just looks so cool, and he's definitely going with my Phase 2 army. Then we have a real highlight here. We have ARC Trooper Blitz from the Clone Wars line. Unfortunately, his armor here and his backpack are custom molded parts. They're not original to the figure, but I'm just going to paint those and make them match what he's supposed to look like. I've been looking for a complete Blitz for a while now, so even though it's, you know, custom molded parts, it's still the original base figure underneath that, and I absolutely love it. I've always loved Blitz, and so I'm really stoked to have him in the collection. If I can ever track down the parts to complete one and have it with the original printed Hasbro parts, then I'll just swap it over, you know, but for now, this is a really good stand-in, and yeah, I'm just so happy to have Blitz in the collection. His ARC Trooper design is probably the best in the entire Clone Wars, and we only ever see him in the background. Either way though, I'm really excited to have the new Vintage Collection one coming soon, and I don't know, maybe I should put the new Vintage Collection one with those yellow Bark Troopers. I feel like he fits in really nicely with those. And then finally, there are 2 more customs that he included as like little extras. We have this 442nd Airborne Trooper, which I think might use like the Purge Trooper helmet design. Either way, the paintwork and weathering looks really awesome on this. Then it has a Clone Wars Kama kind of glued on underneath that, and yeah, I really love it. He did a good job of matching that green to the 442nd green, and these guys will look really sweet with my other 442nd Siege Battalion. And then the second extra he included is this really awesome dark blue ARC Trooper with a Phase 2 helmet. These are once again cast parts, like the pauldron, the helmet, and maybe the skirt, though this might be just like a Captain Rex Kama. But either way, most of these are custom cast parts, but this figure looks so cool. I think the Phase 2 armor is still my favorite from the Clone Wars, and the paintwork here just looks so awesome. And he actually included a really cool custom alternate head for it. I don't know who the original head sculpt is here. This might be from Pons, but he painted on a little goatee to make him a little bit more unique. And yeah, I absolutely love this. This is going to be so cool to add to the collection and have these ARC Troopers alongside some of my standard clones. And I really appreciate him working out a custom trade with me all the way over in, I think, Slovenia. So this was like actually an international trade deal that we did, which was really fun. But yeah, so that's the haul video. We have this awesome trade that came in technically to the P.O. Box. So I guess that kind of counts as like, you know, part of this P.O. Box unboxing. We have the absolutely insane and massive amount of custom fodder sent in from R. Torres. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not associating the name with your username or your YouTube channel, but either way, leave it down in the comments below. I will get you credit because I really appreciate that, man. That is just such an awesome amount of custom fodder, and I cannot wait to dig into that. And then, of course, most importantly of all, we have the red Clone Trooper candy dispenser coming to a store near you. I don't know, again, for $1, I couldn't resist just getting a unique clone variant. So yeah, thank you all so much for supporting this channel in all the different ways you do. Even just watching my videos, liking, commenting, that means so much to me, and don't feel any pressure to send anything into the channel, but I really do appreciate those of you that have. It means so much to me. My P.O. Box address is down in the description of this video and all of my other videos here on YouTube. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, the link is also down in the description to my social media where you can follow me there. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And as always, I'll be sure to catch you all in the next video.